So guys, National Museum of Archaeology, and
they had a certain condition. These are very common and traditional. The worst year of the war was April 1942.
I've just checked in. We're about to experience the underground. There's an underground tunnel here in Valletta. By the way, did you know that Valletta is a World Heritage City? I'm just learning this today. So the thing is, I haven't really, gone to learn about the history of Malta. So I'm just starting to learn more and more about it. And it's easy to get ticket. I saw this on the news. It's like €10 to buy a ticket to see the underground. This opened like, is it 3 weeks ago? Today is the 5th of December. So I bought tickets. The tickets were being sold out since November, and this was the first available ticket that there was, and I grabbed onto it. So yeah, we'll be taking you guys to the underground tunnel of Valletta. Apparently, they used to store food during the World War, I think World War II, store food, use it as shelter, not just only for storage reasons, use it as shelter, even during peace times. So, yeah, in just, it starts at 10. We had to be here 30 minutes before, they said, according to what the ticket said. So, looking forward to showing you guys, bringing you guys along with me, what this underground has. So see you soon. I would like to know what the story behind this sleeping lady. Usually my head is big.
Dennis, did you take the...
This will fit me. Oh, it has a elastic.
Yeah, you can adjust.
Okay. Okay. I look good.
Oh yeah, beautiful.
So I wanted to bring you guys along so that you can see the tour guide as well as hear her explaining the history behind this underground. However, she said no. I specifically asked if I could only use her audio whilst explaining this underground, and she still said no. So I'm going to be the one explaining. I took notes, so I'll be explaining what I learned from this underground. When the Knights came to Malta, they wanted to develop Valletta, to build infrastructure, to build the city in general. So they went ahead to look for the best architect around. They found an architect called Rapparelli. He was an Italian architect, and they thought he was the best architect to build Valletta city. The Knights then passed a new law stating that in order to build a new home, every household must have a well to store water as well as a drainage, as they thought this will help combat the shortage of water supply. Before this underground was used as a shelter during the Second World War, it's important to note that it was first used as a military base by the Knights. By the 18th century, Malta prided itself with having some of the most advanced water cisterns. It had 11 reservoirs, 22 water cisterns, 6 cisterns in Fort St. Elmo, and 1,500 wells. People at the time moved to Valletta because they found Valletta to be more attractive. However, the infrastructure suffered because it couldn't handle the population growth. The drainage system in Valletta could not handle the surge. Therefore, it started overflowing and it would flow onto the streets of Valletta. In most cases, you'll find that ground floor of homes were left empty because of sewage water and of course the smell. These drawings you see here are some drawings made by the people living here during the World War, Second World War of course. Since Valletta was the most bombed city in Malta, the Knights decided they had to use this underground that was the military base to now be used as a shelter. So at that time, the military base was quite narrower, smaller, so they employed people, slaves back then, to start carving out rooms so that each family will be allocated to one room. Every room would have a number at the front of it so as not to confuse it with the others. Each room measured about 5 square meters. Imagine the whole family living in a 5 square meter room. To make matters worse, given that back then there was a lot of contagious diseases, most families would stay in their rooms so as not to be infected with disease. Some of the families that had some materials left in their home that was bombed down due to the war would get some tiles, for example, to come install in their room. Sometimes some that could afford doors would install doors in their room here at the shelter. Just like the streets are marked on the ground level in Valletta, so is the same way the streets are marked underground. Just like you see here, we have St. Lucia Street. That's the same way you have St. Lucia Street on the ground level in Valletta. As mentioned before, this is an example of a family that decided to tile their home or their room with a typical Maltese tile. It's very common to see religious cross signs or the Holy Mary carved on the walls because Maltese were typically or are typically religious people. An American ship that docked at the Grand Harbor came and provided food to the Maltese people. As at that time, this gesture was greatly appreciated as they were severely lacking due to the ongoing war. The day this American ship landed is the day Malta celebrates the Assumption of Holy Mary, which up until today is a national holiday in Malta. Most people saw it as no coincidence but a miracle. Here is one of the wells that had to be sealed up from the top as soon as this place was now used for shelter. Valletta is filled with underground tunnels, underground shelters. However, only just a fraction of it is accessible to the public. The guide had a lot of praise for the knights, unlike the French rule, because the knights, even though they themselves were Protestants, they allowed the Maltese to practice their type of Christianity, which is Catholicism. So here, this is one of the large water cisterns, and right here it's located in the Republic Street. As you can see, these are roots from trees that you see on the ground level in Valletta Republic Street. So these are the roots underneath. The sand and stone dug from this water cistern was used to build the St. John's Cathedral that is just above this underground. All these roots that you're seeing here are the 4 trees currently standing by the Great Siege Monument just in front of the law courts. It's amazing. It's mind-blowing knowing that I've walked this street so many times. Little did I know that there's so much that had gone on underground this road I've walked on. So guys, make sure you give this video a thumbs up if you like to see more of this type of videos, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.